This is a DirtTrax exclusive.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another classic DirtTrax walk around. I am here in the Turpin Meadows Ranch just outside Jackson, Wyoming, and Can-Am's invited us here for our first spin on the 2026 Outlander models. So I've got some cool stuff. We've been riding all morning, and man, it's sort of overwhelming at times. But what I've got here is this is the Outlander XT-P. So it's featuring the 1000R engine, 101 horsepower. But what's unique on this unit is actually has SMART-SHOX. So this is the first time. Any manufacturers had its semi-active suspension available on an ATV. You know, we've seen it obviously on the side-by-side industry and in snow, but now we've got the SMART-SHOX available on this unit, and I just want to go over all the features. But before I do, please click that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Get the comments rolling. We'll do our best to answer everything, any questions that you have. Ding the little bell and throw some hype points our way. We'd really appreciate it. We'll go over everything this has here though. So let's set this machine apart. So we've talked about in the past, and I'm sure you've done your research, the new Backcountry models feature 30-inch tires. These still feature the 27-inch tires. These are pretty aggressive tires though. 27x8s wrapping 14-inch beadlock wheels in that orange. I mean, they got the orange all over this thing, and it just looks so rad. And these are Trail King tires, XPS Trail King tires. So I think that's pretty much Can-Am's brand. But these have been designed for these units, and they're really cool here. So what other features this has? So I'm going to kind of go over everything here before I touch on the SMART-SHOX. Now, you've got this amazing storage up front here. Very deep well storage. It's got rubber sealing on it too. This afternoon I had my jacket, an extra pair of gloves, all my GoPro kits, bunch of water bottles in here. And this is another cool feature that it has too. It just locks up here. So if you're rummaging here, trying to get your stuff all set up, you can use two hands. You don't have to hold it open with one hand, but massive capacity, and it shuts tight. So you have your 120-pound capacity rack up front. Beautiful brush guard. This orange just pops so much. It's so cool. LED lights. You've got your winch. I believe it's a 3,500-pound winch with a synth rope. All the winches for 26 have synth rope. They've gone away from the steel cable, and we're happy about that because we like synth rope. Come around to the back, and there's more storage back here. But this is a cool. So this is actually. You'd think this was a Link accessory because it fits right in here, opens up, more massive capacity, but it also disconnects and comes right out of here. If I can do this, there you go, and pops right out. So there's your Link mounts, and you've got a box here. So if you don't want to use this, you can buy other Link accessories to pop in there, or just leave it empty, whatever you feel like. But I thought that was a really cool feature to have standard there. And get that back in there. That's the cool thing about Link is how quickly it pops back in there, right? You got your 2-inch receiver. Again, I think everything is it's a standard across the board with the Outlander line. It's an 1,830-pound towing capacity on this thing, so just monstrous, just absolutely monstrous. But the coolest thing is the SMART-SHOX. Now I'm going to get into this and just talk to you about this for a second. So you've got SMART-SHOX with sensors up. You've got sensors. 4 sensors on each of the A-arms, front and back. Then you've also got sensors on the throttle and the brake, and there's also one on the power steering module. And so you've got all these sensors actively working to talk to your suspension and get it set the way you want. There's multiple modes, which we'll go over soon, but so what it's adjusting is when you touch the brakes, and there's none of that dive in the front, and there's no squat when you take off, because your SMART-SHOX will compensate for that. If you're taking a corner aggressively, which I was doing all morning deliberately, and it was so fun, this thing stays so flat because your outside shocks will compensate and they'll stiffen up to keep the vehicle flat. There's, obviously, if you're jumping your machine, it senses immediately the sag, and then all of a sudden stiffens up, so you're landing, you know, you don't bottom out when you land, and then it just goes right back to your regular setting. So very, very cool feature there. So, and I'm not kidding you, like it's crazy. This isn't a cheap machine, like, don't get me wrong, I know it's insanely expensive for an ATV, but you know, if you've ridden a side-by-side with semi-active suspension, you know, or a sled with semi-active suspension, you know how awesome it is. It just is. It works so good. It's the highest performance shock package, I think, that they offer. So that's really impressive there. These are 1.5 inch KYB shocks. This is a weird spec, but it goes from soft to firm in 0.017 seconds. So that's immediate response. So we'll come up here and I'll show you the features here. So we've got, so when we come into the, just get her fired up here for a second. Oops. So I'll start up, but I'll just get this, our 10.25 inch gauge. 10.25 inch gauge. So, you know, all you snowmobilers recognize this gauge from the snow side here. So this is the only machine, well, this and the limited, Outlander Limited are the models that come with SMART-SHOX, and they're the ones that feature the 10.25 inch display. So there's a lot of technology there, but you know, it shows you everything you need. So I'm going to go right into starting this thing up. I usually wait till the end, but I want the screen working so I can show you how everything works. So just sounds mean as heck, doesn't it? You know, it's got a nice little bark. It takes a couple of seconds to fire up. Confirm that. Yeah, that's fine. And then you've got your buttons. This is actually a new cluster on the left side here. So I push that to get to navigation. There's stats. One more push shows that I can connect some media to it. And then we get into our gauges, and we have nav, and there's lots of maps and stuff available here. So it's interactive here. So when I push the center button, it is a touch screen. We've got a compass, nothing. Push and hold the center again. And there's your winch operation, which is somewhere here, I think. Hold on a sec. Long press OK to turn on or off. There we go. So you got your winch activation, and then vehicle information, and then fuel consumption. And I'm gonna put it back on the compass because I think that looks cool. You got two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and front diff lock. There are engine modes on this as well. Now, this is the crazy thing. There's tons of buttons and everything to access everything on your screen. You've even got electronic engine braking on this side. The best method I've found is pushing this little 3-stack over here. It's we were joking earlier because we were calling it the hamburger, because that's, you know, and mobile phones, you push the little hamburger and that's your nav menu. So when we push the little hamburger on this side, you can access your winch. I push it again and it goes into sport. These are your drive modes: sport, normal, comfort, and work. And the cool thing is, this is obviously a single rider, but in the 2-up versions, there's also a 2-up mode, and that is for your SMART-SHOX. And I want to show you that when I go in here. So I'm going to push that. There's your drive modes. I'm going one more time. It shows you your max, medium, and min setting for your power steering. One more time, and there you go. There's your modes for your SMART-SHOX. You've got sport. Sport's going to be its stiffest setting. Normal. Oh, my apologies. Normal is just normal operation. I rode mostly in normal today because we were, going through some fields and stuff. And then you've got a comfort setting, which is very soft. And then work compensates. Work's calibrated for your maximum capacities on your racks and for slow speed movement. So your suspension probably a little bit stiffer for work duties. But one of the cool things in there, I'm going to turn this off here. One of the cool things in your SMART-SHOX setting is there is a SMART-SHOX setting for 2-up. If you have an Outlander Max that's equipped with a SMART-SHOX. And what it does is it compensates for when you're braking, it'll stiffen up your front shocks so the person behind you, their helmet doesn't hit your helmet. You know, it's little smart things like that, and obviously stiffens up for the weight of a passenger on the vehicle as well. They've thought of everything, and you know, I did comment earlier, the one of the cool things is, you know, you can set your modes on this and basically design it so you have completely customized your ride. That's one of the features that I really liked about the Outlander Pro that we had a few years ago that AJ and I did a shootout with. That's a great machine, but you can custom tailor this and completely set it up to your riding style, and you can actually set your custom settings in here and say, yep, this is custom, and then it just shows up in your nav as, you know, you've got your performance, normal, and comfort, work modes, and then you've also, you know, it'll have a custom mode here. So if you like, you know, if you like the throttle response in the normal mode, you can set that, but then you want maximum setting for your power steering, and then you want the softest setting for your shocks. You dial everything in and customize it. It shows up as custom, and it'll save that in there. One of the weird things though is when you actually turn the machine off, as soon as your screen goes off, it defaults back to normal setting. But I mean, just pushing that hamburger, boom, boom, twice, and you can find comfort back in your menu, and that'll always be your setting until you change it or till somebody else changes it, you know. But I thought that was a kind of a cool feature because I customized it to how I was happy riding it out there, and you know, it was always there. We stop and start. That's all we ever do when we're shooting, you know, especially in events like this. You ride a little bit and then we stop, talk about the vehicles, or we turn around and have to shoot something again. So we were turning these things on and off all the time, and it was so easy. Once I figured it out, it was so easy to locate my custom settings in the menu. And my feeling is, you know, one of the great things about this job is we get to drive a whole bunch of vehicles, and all the different vehicles are set up differently. So you have to sort of relearn when you get on a new vehicle, but my feeling is anyone who's spending this kind of money on this machine is going to take the time to learn it, take the time to set it up, and once it's set up, it's just set it and forget it, and you're going to be happy, and you'll be able to navigate through everything on the machine as well. So anyways, that's all I've got for you today, folks. Again, if you enjoyed this video, enjoyed the content, please click that like button. If you've got questions, please ask them in the comments section. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and ding that little bell to get all the alerts from us, and hype points. And other than that, folks, really appreciate everyone tuning in to all our content. We've got a lot more great stuff coming, and as always, thanks for watching.
Make sure to subscribe and comment below for real interaction with the Dirt Trax crew.